So, it's been a year. If you don't know me, my name is Kevin Chung and I'm an independent artist based here in Los Angeles. I moved out here from Atlanta about a year ago, and since then I feel like so much has happened and I never really got to share with you guys in depth of like what I've learned, what I've been up to, what changed, and all this and that. I'm sure if you're already following me on all my socials, you've seen a bit of the journey, but just wanted to share what this first year was like. So let's get started.
Will you wake up tomorrow and tell me you changed your mind? Can we take back the hours and baby?
I think that's a great intro. So I want to start by giving you guys a bit of context to maybe help understand why I wanted to move, what went into the decision making, and provide just a bit more information than what's on social media. So I know there's a lot of stories that are very similar to mine where someone's working a full-time job and they're doing like their passion project or music or art or whatever it is on the side. But what I felt like was unique about my situation was the fact that the job I was working was actually my dream job. Or so I thought. I'm not going to go into details of what I did, but just know that I was content. I really couldn't ask for anything more. And growing up, it was everything that I wanted. It felt very tailor-made for me and it was fun. I had a great time. But the only thing that I felt like left me dissatisfied was this little dream that I feel like I buried deep inside to be an artist. And for 4 years, I felt like I hid it away simply because I didn't know if it was possible. I didn't know if I could do it, if I was even good enough. It was just a lot of fear until during the pandemic, jumped onto TikTok, jumped onto social media or Twitch or books or whatever. Like, we all try to find something to do to fill that time. So I made it a goal to post a video a day on TikTok and just sing and then write more and just try to like really get into the groove of what it meant to post consistently. And it started to get a little bit of attention, started to grow a little bit of a following. Don't get me wrong, I know that like these numbers, they don't necessarily equate to success or guarantee it. So just because I had 100,000 followers or 200,000 or whatever, like it doesn't mean that I've arrived or I made it or anything like that by any means. But what I feel like it did for me was it gave me a bit of confidence. It gave me the confidence that I needed to take that jump and say like, why not? Like, why not give this thing a try? And it definitely was hard at first, and I still remember the daunting feeling of trading away my stability, the things that I've built, what I felt like for sure I was good at, for something that felt like a childish dream in a sense. But with all that being said, I felt like there were 4 main lessons that I learned throughout this first year. So I hope it can be encouraging, and I hope it's worth something for you guys. Here we go. Lesson 1, you can't do everything. So a lot of what I hear nowadays for independent artists is get on TikTok, post on Reels, you gotta make shorts, content, stream on Twitch, make YouTube videos. Like, the social media demand for your time is insane. And my goodness, it is overwhelming. And with all this social media stuff, I was trying to release a single a month. But despite my best efforts, I just couldn't do it. I felt like I had the heart and the mindset and the drive and the motivation for it. But early this year, just because I wasn't getting proper rest, I was doing too much, and I just didn't have the time and space to really heal until I felt like I realized and had to admit to myself, you can't do everything. So I had to sit down with myself and ask, what is the most important thing? And the way I answered it was my music. So I felt like I had to cut off all the things that didn't point me towards that. So obviously, time to songwrite, time to produce, time to do sessions, and things like that. Naturally, what that did for me was there wasn't enough time to do covers. And despite like covers being a big part of singing, it was singing other people's songs. So I wanted to take the time to cut this down, do this less, so I can do my music more. I feel like there's nothing wrong with being a YouTuber, there's nothing wrong with being a TikToker, streamer, cover artist, but I think at the end of the day, it's your choice to pursue what you want to pursue. And for me, it's like, that's just not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be known as an artist. So lesson 2, be patient with yourself. After leaving my full-time job, it really felt like I was starting over, and I was almost a little embarrassed because I was like, dang, all these people around me that are my age, have it all together. They're more established. I couldn't shake the fact that I was behind. Part of me was like, dang, I wish I would have jumped into this sooner. I wish I would have started this sooner. But I'm a believer in perfect timing, and nothing goes to waste. And everything that I learned from my past job is so applicable to what I'm doing now. I remember the first couple of months I was here, I didn't know how to be an artist. I was so used to putting my music and my art second. So I didn't know how to think in a way where that was first. I was talking to my actor friend and I was just sharing with him like, oh, I think my music will feel like it's first when I start making money. And I feel like I'll be able to confidently say that I'm an artist when I start making money. And he kind of just paused and started to explain to me like, money comes and goes. Like there's gonna be seasons where you're making more, seasons where you're making less. But as long as you're keeping your art the priority, that's what makes you an artist first. That was like a paradigm shifting moment because I just didn't feel like an artist, and I didn't feel like that was who I was at first. I felt like a barista. And it's just cool to see like a year later that people are listening to my music and want more music from me. So in the moments where I feel so rushed to do something great or disappointed that I'm not quite where I want to be, I think those are the moments where I just have to like take a step back and remind myself this is a long journey and learning how to do a little bit every day. Lesson 3, nobody really cares, so just do it. One of the biggest things that I feel like I struggle with as I'm in front of a camera, releasing music, and putting myself out in the public is what are other people thinking about me? Sometimes I care way too much about what I think people are thinking. It's not even what they're actually thinking, it's literally what I think they're thinking about me. And on top of that, constantly posting every day just made me uncomfortable because I felt like I was being annoying. But at the end of the day, I realized that my friends and family understand, and there's a lot more people that are for me rather than against me. And on top of that, I realized also they're not watching every video. If you're not watching every video, it's messed up. Just kidding. Everyone's got their own lives, everyone's busy, they're just kind of doing their own thing. And I think sometimes social media inflates our minds to make us think that everyone's watching us. Like even this YouTube video, like I've never made a video like this, and I always talked about it, thought about it, I always wanted to do it, but never got around to it because I was like, YouTube's just not, it's just not, you know, I just make like excuses for myself, but it's all a part of the learning process of just doing it. Just do it. Do it. And lastly, lesson number 4, enjoy the moment. For me, it's so easy to get wrapped up in what's coming and what I'm after and the goals that I want to achieve and who I want to be in the future and what I want to do and all these things. But there's been so many moments in my life that I was so forward focused that I missed what was in front of me. And now sometimes when I think about college or sometimes I think about my past workplace, it's like, what if there was more that I could have gotten out of it if I was just present? I think I was just so worried about where I was headed that I wasn't able to really enjoy what was in front of me and the scenes and the experiences and the people and all these things. So while being here in LA, I started to get in this mode. I mean, early on, I started to get in this mode of, man, I risked everything. I gave up so much. I feel like I sacrificed all these things to do my music, so everything has to be about it and everything has to be centered towards it. So even when I was hanging out with people or I was invited to events, yeah, physically I was there, but mentally I was checked out and I felt like I was in a zone of work. And then it hit me one day as I was having a conversation with one of my music friends, realizing, man, what is the point of the accolades? What's the point of the achievements and the numbers if you're not enjoying the journey and if you're not with people that you care about and care about you and like just having fun? If you're not enjoying your time in whatever you're doing, then it's honestly a waste and it's just vain. But for what that's worth, I hope all that made sense. I just kind of brain dumped everything. And just to wrap this all up, overall, I've had the best time here. I've met awesome people. I love this city and it feels like home. These are just 4 things that I felt like I learned. Hopefully they're worth something to you and can help you along whatever you're doing. But yeah, I'm continuing to learn and who knows, maybe in a year I'll change my mind and it'll all suck. But if you've made it this far, thank you so much for sticking with me and listening. I love that I get to see the best version of myself come together, and I'm so thankful and encouraged for the growth and really can't wait to see what happens next. Cue this song.
So tell me when